The wedding with my childhood sweetheart took place as scheduled, but it wasn't my father-in-law who escorted her out. It was her male secretary. "General Manager Luna, you're pregnant and wearing high heels. You must be extra careful," I said. My childhood sweetheart leaned entirely on her male secretary and looked at me nonchalantly. "Leo saved my life. Although I can't marry Leo, I promised to have a child for him. The child in my belly, after it's born, you have to love it as if it were your own," she continued. All the guests had various expressions and started whispering among themselves. My parents looked furious and pulled me, saying they couldn't stand this humiliation and wanted to leave. My father-in-law and mother-in-law tried to persuade me to focus on the overall situation and finish the wedding. Looking at my childhood sweetheart's indifferent face and Leo's provoking gaze, I smiled. I forcefully ripped off the boutonniere on my chest and casually threw it at Leo. Then I smiled at my childhood sweetheart and said, "The biological parents of the child should have their own wedding. Today, I'll just be an onlooker. I'll give the groom to you. Congratulations on your marriage with a child on the way." After saying that, I took the lead in clapping. All the guests were stunned. Luna's face darkened. "Oliver, today is our big day. Do you really have to make a scene?" She actually said I was causing trouble. At my own wedding, she unabashedly held Leo's arm, blatantly stating that she was pregnant with Leo's child and expecting me to love Leo's child as if it were my own. What did she take me for? As for her, saying that Leo saved her life, it was ridiculous. It was just a common cold that sent her to the hospital. How could that be considered a life-saving act? Did she think I was a fool? I snatched the microphone from the MC and said loudly, "Thank you, all friends and relatives, for coming today. There's been a little accident at the wedding, but don't worry, the wedding will continue soon. But the groom has been changed. The two new lovers are getting married with a baby on the way. We should give them our blessings." The whole place fell silent. Luna's face was gloomy. The expressions on her parents' faces were even more remarkable. I didn't even look at them. I walked up to my parents and forced a smile. "Dad, Mom, let's go home." At that moment, I felt deeply guilty towards them. They had lived most of their lives and probably had never experienced such humiliation. It was all because of me. My mother held my hand with a pained look. My father stood up, first bowed to the guests on our side, and then said, "I've already arranged for another banquet. I'll return all the gift money today. It's on me." Looking at my father's figure as he bowed, my eyes were sour and my nose stung. In my memory, my father had always been strong-willed and rarely bowed to others. But today, it was because of me. Although my childhood sweetheart, Luna, and I had grown up together, my parents had always disagreed with our relationship. For this reason, I had quarreled with them several times. I had thought that my parents were prejudiced against Luna. Now, I realized how perceptive they were and had seen early on that Luna wasn't someone worthy of spending the rest of my life with. It was ridiculous that I had thought Luna loved me as much as I loved her and that I wouldn't marry anyone else, because we had grown up together. I had fallen in love with Luna when I was in my formative years. I had quietly followed her and paid attention to her every move. It had been 15 years, a long time. Even if one's heart was made of stone, it should have melted. But Luna didn't. She had always been distant and ambiguous with other men. Every time I saw her with other men, I would be very angry. But soon, I would run back to her as if nothing had happened. It was like a moth to a flame. I knew it would hurt, but I still couldn't turn back. I thought that sooner or later she would see my goodness and love me wholeheartedly. But reality gave me a hard slap in the face. She had been having an affair with her male secretary and was pregnant. She had embarrassed me in front of my parents and all our relatives and friends at the wedding. Without considering my feelings at all, she didn't care about me at all. I was willing to give up myself for her and put her at the center of everything. I had even had fierce arguments with my parents because of her, but she couldn't even give me a complete wedding. Looking at her holding Leo's arm with one hand and gently stroking her belly with the other, I felt a sense of suffocation. Since she disdained my love and even trampled on it, I wouldn't love her anymore. Just as my parents were leading the guests from our side to leave, my mother-in-law grabbed my mother. "Dear sister-in-law, what are you doing? Today is a big day for the two children. We can't let outsiders laugh at us." My father-in-law also said to my father, "Yes, Luna has done something wrong. You can criticize and teach her a lesson, but this is a matter for the young people to handle. We elders should just watch." My mother sneered, "What's there to watch? Do you want us to continue being laughed at? Our family has already lost all face today." My father didn't say anything, but looked at me, leaving the decision to me. Luna, still holding Leo, walked up to me and stared at me coldly. "Have you had enough of this tantrum? Do you want to make sure my parents lose all face?" Hearing her words, I smiled bitterly. Who exactly was making my parents lose face? Was it me? Leo looked at me with an apologetic expression. "General Manager Oliver, I'm sorry for you. When I learned that you and General Manager Luna were getting married, I was going to bless you, but..." He touched Luna's belly. I didn't expect General Manager Luna to be pregnant. I've done something wrong, and I don't care what punishment I get, but the child is innocent. I can't let the child be rejected as soon as it's born. General Manager, Oliver, you have a kind heart. You surely don't want to see the child suffer, do you? Before I could say anything, my mother pointed at Leo and cursed. You have a nerve as thick as a city wall. You and Luna have been having an affair behind my son's back, and now there's a child involved. You even have the audacity to come to the wedding and act pitiful. I've never seen someone as shameless as you. My mother-in-law quickly grabbed my mother. DearSister-in-law.com, down. What he said actually makes sense. The child is innocent, after all. Then she looked at me. Oliver, don't you think so? Who's your sister-in-law? My son has nothing to do with your daughter, from now on. Son, let's go. We're not getting married. Let them be a family of 3, my mother said, shaking off my mother-in-law's hand. My mother-in-law's face turned unpleasant. Dear sister-in-law, what are you saying? All our relatives and friends are watching. We can't act so impetuously like the young people. Then she looked at me. Oliver, you're the most understanding. You should also persuade your mother. We can't let our relatives and friends laugh at us, Luna said coldly. Oliver, although I'm carrying Leo's child, since you love me, you should tolerate everything about me. So what if the child isn't yours? It's just a small matter. After the child is born, you'll still be the father. I really don't understand. Is it really that important for the child to be your own? She was actually blaming me, as if it were a heinous thing for me not to accept Leo's child in her belly. I was so angry that I laughed. My father-in-law looked at Leo and then at me. Oliver, your mother-in-law and I have watched you grow up. We know exactly what kind of person you are. What's done is done. Making a scene won't help. What we need to do now is to fix the situation. As soon as possible, I turned my head and asked calmly, how do you plan to fix it? My father-in-law didn't hesitate. First, finish the wedding. We can't let outsiders laugh at us. After Luna's child is born, since having an abortion is harmful to her body, we should keep the child. Don't worry, the child has nothing to do with Leo after it's born. You'll be the child's real father. Give Leo some money and make him disappear. My mother-in-law quickly chimed in. Yes, that's a good idea. Leo smiled and said, I have no objections. General Manager Oliver, I really am sorry for you. After the child is born, you'll raise it, and it's only right for the child to recognize you as its father. After I get the money, I won't show up in front of you. General Manager, Luna, and the child, I sneered. Of course, you have no objections. You not only get a sum of money, but also someone to raise the child for free. It's such a great deal that you'd laugh in your dreams. Luna said impatiently. Oliver, my parents have said all this. What are you being so stubborn for? If it weren't for the fact that you love me to the point of no return, I wouldn't be marrying you at all. Then it's as you wish. We're not getting married. What did you say? Luna couldn't believe it. My mother loudly supported me. Good. That's my good son. My father-in-law and mother-in-law panicked. Oliver, getting married is a big deal. How can you just decide not to get married? You can't act on a whim. My father-in-law gave Luna a fierce look. What nonsense are you talking? Stand aside. Luna gave me a resentful look and angrily pulled Leo to the side. My father-in-law and mother-in-law tried to persuade me again. I looked at them. Since I was a child, I had always respected them, almost treating them like my own parents. I never expected that today they wouldn't stand by my side at all. All they could think about was making me marry Luna and raise Leo's child for him. Seeing that they couldn't persuade me, my mother turned to my mother and said, Dear sister-in-law, you should also persuade Oliver. Even if you don't consider us, you should think about him. If the wedding is called off halfway through, it will affect both Oliver and your family's reputation. I sneered. Reputation? Does our family still have any reputation left? After said this, my father-in-law and mother-in-law looked uncomfortable, but they quickly regained their composure. Oliver, you can't say that. After all, none of us wanted this to happen. Yes, what's done is done. We're also in a difficult situation. You should understand us. Stop pretending to be wronged and pitiful. Your daughter had an affair before marriage. You're no better. You're just as shameless, my mother said with a look of disgust, pulling me to leave. I shook my head. Mom, don't be in a hurry. This isn't over yet. I turned to my father-in-law and mother-in-law. Did you already know about Luna and Leo? You joined forces to hide it from me, just to make me marry Luna and turn it into a facade so you could control me. No wonder before Luna and I held the wedding, you encouraged us to get the marriage certificate. You've been so calculating. My mother-in-law still tried to argue. Oliver, actually, we were doing it for you. After all, you love Luna deeply. It's just a child. As long as you pretend not to know, you can marry Luna and fulfill your dream of many years. You should be happy. What the hell is there to be happy about? My mother was so angry that she was trembling all over. Your family joined forces to deceive my son. How could there be such a shameless family in the world? My mother-in-law stopped pretending and said triumphantly, "It's too late for you to say anything now. Oliver has already gotten the marriage certificate with Luna. If you get a divorce, half of the family property will be divided." My father-in-law looked at me and my parents and smiled smugly. "I advise you to think carefully. Half of Oliver's family property is no small amount." Luna, beside them, laughed even more brazenly. "Oliver, it's just a child. It's not like we can't afford to raise it. It was just a small matter. You have to be so persistent. Look at how things have turned out. Why bother?" "Shut up." My mother's face turned red with anger, and she rushed forward as if to tear Luna's mouth. I stopped my mother and sneered at Luna and her parents, who looked so proud. "So, you think you've got me cornered? Sorry to disappoint you." I took out the marriage certificate and threw it on the ground. "This marriage certificate is fake." The smug expressions on my father-in-law and mother-in-law froze. Luna shrieked, "Impossible. How could the marriage certificate be fake? I clearly got it with you in person, and there's an embossed seal on it. It can't be fake." Luna was flustered. As she took out the marriage certificate and showed the embossed seal, I sneered. "Just because there's an embossed seal doesn't mean it's not fake. Don't you know that embossed seals can be forged?" Luna pointed at me, her fingers trembling. "You actually lied to me, you bastard." My face turned completely cold. "You had an affair before marriage and got pregnant. Why can't I lie to you? You and your parents wanted to use the marriage certificate to control me and divide my family's property so that you could have enough funds to get your company out of the crisis. Am I right?" Luna looked at me in shock. "So, you knew?" "Yes, luckily. I knew. Otherwise, you would have had me at your mercy." Luna gritted her teeth. "Forging an embossed seal is against the law. Believe it or not, I'll call the police. I don't care. I wasn't afraid at all. It just so happens that I can report what happened today and let everyone see how despicable and shameless your family's actions are. I might have to go to jail for a few years, but your family and the company in your hands will have no way out." My desperate actions made Luna fall silent. My father-in-law slapped her in the face. "You useless thing. You can't even do such a small thing well." Luna covered her face and stared at me with hatred. My mother-in-law said hatefully, "Oliver, you've been hiding it so deeply. Did you already know about Luna and Leo?" I smiled. "I don't know what you're talking about. Stop pretending. If you didn't already know, why wouldn't you really get married to Luna?" My mother-in-law shouted angrily, glaring at me with red eyes. "You said our family's behavior is despicable and shameless. But how are you any better? You clearly knew everything but pretended not to know. You're even more vicious than us." Hearing this, I sneered. "If you hadn't been trying to scheme against me and push me to the limit, things wouldn't have turned out like this. After all, it's because you have bad intentions." "Well said." My mother laughed happily. "My dear son, you've done such a great job." I smiled and looked at my father-in-law and mother-in-law, who looked as if they had lost everything. Luna looked at me hatefully. "Oliver, you really had a hard time. You clearly knew everything but pretended not to know. Isn't it tiring to live with a mask every day?" I smiled slightly. "I'm not as tired as you. After all, you have to be affectionate with Leo on one hand, act with me on the other, and plot against me with your parents, secretly. You're almost stretched into 3 parts. I bet you don't even have much time to sleep. Tisk tsk. I actually feel sorry for you when I think about it." "Enough, you bastard. Just you wait. I'm not done with you," Luna said viciously. I scoffed. "Without the restraint of marriage, what can you do? Let me give you some advice. Instead of trying to cause trouble for me, you'd better take good care of your pregnancy. What if the child in your belly is gone? Will Leo still love you and stay by your side?" Leo's face changed and he quickly said, "General Manager Oliver, I love you. Even if there's no child of mine in your belly, I'll still love you. Honey, I know how good you are." Luna was moved. Then she looked at me coldly. "Unlike this bastard, he says he loves me, but he secretly had someone investigate me. He's so calculating, he wouldn't sleep with me before marriage. He clearly knew that my family's company was in crisis but refused to help. He said he would step in at a critical moment. Bah, I think he wants to take over my family's company. He says, I had an affair before marriage, but he's not any cleaner, either." After hearing this, before I could react, my mother was extremely angry. "Our family has helped yours a lot. It's your own poor management. Don't blame others here." My father also looked unhappy. I held my mother back. "Let her say whatever she wants. It's not going to cost us a piece of flesh." My mother was still angry. I took my mother's hand. "Okay, we've wasted enough time. It's time for us to leave. Our relatives and friends are getting impatient." Wait a minute, my father-in-law shouted urgently. "The wedding has turned out like this today. You can't just leave like this." I turned around and sneered. "What do you want us to compensate you?" My father-in-law said coldly, "I'm not short of that money. I want you to swear that you won't spread a word about what happened today. Otherwise, if our family is ruined, your family won't have an easy time either. If it comes to a situation where we all end up losing everything, no one will survive." Hearing this, I looked at Luna, who was glaring at me angrily, and then at Leo, who was lowering his head with changing expressions. I sneered. You'd better worry about your daughter and the son-in-law who hasn't officially joined your family yet. After saying that, ignoring Luna's even uglier expression, I walked out of the wedding banquet hall with my parents, relatives, and friends. The banquet started again. My parents asked me to entertain our friends while they took care of the relatives. Oliver, my brother, waved at me. I walked over with a smile. Oliver, you did such a great job today. My brother was full of excitement. Seeing Luna and her parents so angry but unable to do anything to you makes me feel so satisfied. I've always said that Luna doesn't deserve you. You've sacrificed so much for her. But what has she done? Besides ordering you around like a servant. What else? Oliver, you have money and good looks. You're a proper, rich, and handsome man. I never understood why you were so infatuated with Luna before, as if you were bewitched. Maybe I was just stupid. I smiled and picked up a glass. Let's not talk about her. From now on, she's her, and I'm me. I have nothing to do with her anymore. That's right, my brother picked up his glass and clinked it with mine. After the banquet ended, my mother and I helped my father leave. I didn't drink much because of a woman who didn't love me at all. It wasn't worth it. My father, however, drank a lot. It's all because of me. I made him lose face in front of our relatives and friends, and I made him bow his head for the first time, thinking about how I had quarreled with him again and again because of Luna. All these years, I felt extremely guilty. I was Son, you must never regret it and go back to Luna. Otherwise, Mom will look down on you, my mother said. I quickly assured her that I wouldn't. Once was enough for this heartbreaking experience, and there wouldn't be a second time. Just as my mother and I were helping my father into the underground parking lot, we ran into Luna and Leo. Luna wrinkled her nose in disgust and waved her hand in front of it. Such a strong smell of alcohol. How much did you drink? Is it because of me? It's still not too late to regret it. Hearing this, I couldn't help laughing. How shameless must one be to say such narcissistic words? Luna's face darkened. What? Are you laughing at nothing? I forcefully held back my laughter and waved my hand. Pregnant women shouldn't smell alcohol. You're carrying Leo's child. You better leave quickly. Luna snorted coldly. Leo spoke up. Honey, I have something to say to General Manager Oliver. You go and wait for me in the car. Luna frowned. What's there to talk to him about, Bagut? Go. Leo gently stroked Luna's head with affection. You're so annoying. You've messed up my hair. Luna looked coquettish. I almost threw up at the sight. Oliver, I'm warning you. If you dare to do anything to Leo, I won't let you off easily, Luna said, leaving a harsh warning before turning around and leaving. I asked my mother to help my father to the car first. Then I looked at Leo. So, what do you want to say to me? Leo smiled. General Manager Oliver, I know you still love Luna. I can give her to you. Upon hearing this, I quietly turned on the recording function on my phone, which was in my pocket. Just this amount. Leo held up 2 fingers. 20 million. It's not much. Once I get the money, not only will I persuade Luna to have an abortion, but I'll also disappear forever and never show up in front of you and General Manager Luna. Then you can marry her and live a happy life. I nodded slowly. It sounds good. Leo's face lit up. So, you agree? I smiled. 20 million really isn't much, but I have a question. If Luna finds out that you're selling her for 20 million, won't she go crazy with anger? Leo sneered. What does it have to do with me, whether she goes crazy or not? All I want is the money. I'm not afraid to tell you that I slept with her just for the money. I thought that getting her pregnant would allow me to marry her and inherit Luna's family company in the future. But she said she couldn't marry me, and her parents didn't say a word to help me. Since I can't marry her, inherit Luna's family company, and I can't get the money either, why should I let her boss me around? What about the child? Don't you care about it at all? I asked coldly. Leo didn't care at all. I can't even take care of myself. How can I care about the child? I clenched my phone in my pocket. Aren't you afraid that I'll tell Luna what you've said? Leo laughed heartily. She doesn't believe you at all. Even if you talk until you're blue in the face, it's not as good as a single word from me. Let's see if she believes you or me. I looked at Leo, who was laughing, and my eyes gradually turned cold. He didn't consider the child in Luna's belly as his own at all. He just saw it as a bargaining chip to marry Luna, inherit the Luna family property, and have enough money to squander in the future. It's ridiculous that Luna still regarded him as a treasure. I laughed, self-deprecatingly. Feeling sorry for myself, Luna drove the car over and rolled down the window. Honey, it's time to go. Leo waved at me. General Manager Oliver, think it over. If you change your mind, call me anytime. Luna gave me a cold glance and drove away with Leo. Their conversation reached my ears. Honey, what did you talk to that bastard about? Nothing much. I just made him give up. You won't marry him because the person you love is me. Of course, the person I love is you. Only you. The corner of my mouth curled up, showing a mocking expression. What a loving couple. I wonder if they'll still be as affectionate when Luna finds out what kind of person Leo really is. I'm really looking forward to it. In the following days, I was busy with the company's work and also kept an eye on Luna's family, because there was a large funding gap in Luna's family company. Many projects couldn't be launched, and they couldn't meet the requirements of their partners on time. Facing the crisis of having to pay a huge amount of liquidated damages, Luna's parents were running around everywhere to borrow money. But with such a large funding gap in the company, the amount of money involved was not small, and no one dared to lend them money. Luna often went to the bank. At first, I thought she was going to take out a loan to help the company through the crises. Later, I found out that she was borrowing money to let Leo squander it. Since Leo couldn't marry Luna, he often made trouble for her, and there was no peace for a single day. To satisfy Leo, Luna borrowed a lot of money, and even transferred the company's meager working capital. In the end, she had to take out a loan from the bank to make Leo stop making trouble. I don't think Leo is stupid. Making trouble at this time is just to get one last sum of money and run away, but it has nothing to do with me, and I won't be so kind as to remind Luna. However, I didn't expect that Luna would set her sights on me again. She came to my office with a cold expression and a hard tone. I was wrong about what happened at the wedding. I apologize to you. Let's hold the wedding again. I was stunned. What gave her the courage to come to me and say she wanted to have a wedding with me again? Surely she didn't think I still loved her. I laughed mockingly. What about Leo? And what about the child in your belly? Seeing that I didn't reject her directly, a hint of joy flashed in Luna's eyes, and she said quickly, "The child will be born and raised in a different place and won't appear in front of you. I'll make Leo leave. I've already spent a lot of money on him, and he should be satisfied." "But you said you love him the most, and only him, didn't you?" I asked, pretending to be confused. I was lying to her. The person I really love is you. Luna looked at me affectionately. "Oliver, we grew up together. I know your feelings for me very well, and I've always loved you in my heart. But as the general manager of a company, I face too many temptations, and there are so many men who try to seduce me. Sometimes I really can't control myself. But it will be fine after we get married. Our two companies can be merged into one. With you watching over me, I'll definitely focus on you and love only you." Ugh! I felt so disgusted that I almost threw up. How could I not have noticed how shameless Luna was before? I clapped my hands lightly. "Luna, I have to say, you've really refreshed my understanding of you." Chin-Young frowned. "What do you mean?" "It means you make me feel sick." What? Luna couldn't believe it. "You don't understand. If you don't, go back and think about it carefully." I sneered. Luna was about to lose her temper, but held it back forcefully and forced a smile. "Oliver, don't you love me all the time? Isn't it your long-cherished wish to marry me? Why don't you want to marry me now that I'm willing to marry you?" "Because I don't love you anymore. Every move of yours and every contact with you make me feel extremely disgusted." Luna's face darkened completely. She stood up abruptly from the ground. "Oliver, don't be ungrateful. If it weren't for the company, do you think I would come to see you and humble myself to say I want to marry you? In my heart, you're not as good as Leo at all. You're not even worth a hair of his." I smiled playfully. "Is that so? Is he really that good? But are you sure he really loves you, and not just your money?" Luna looked proud. "Of course he loves me." Before Luna could finish her narcissistic words, I took out my phone and played the recording. 20 million? Just give me 20 million, and I'll give Luna to you. I'll also make her have an abortion and disappear from you and her forever." Leo's words rang out clearly in the office. Luna was stunned for a moment, then frowned. "Where did you get this recording?" Don't talk. Keep listening." The recording continued to play. "I don't love her at all. All I love is her money. Since I can't marry her and she won't give me the money, why should I let her order me around? She doesn't believe you at all." Leo's words kept coming out. Luna's face turned red with anger. She was furious and shouted wildly, "You bastard! You bastard! I'm going to kill him." I put away my phone and said sarcastically, "You thought you could control him, but you didn't know that you've been in his calculations from the very beginning. Luna, you're like a clown, making people laugh at you." "Ah!" Luna roared, her eyes bloodshot as she stared at me intently. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" I replied nonchalantly. "Why should I tell you? We have nothing to do with each other. Whether you try to control Leo or get deceived by him, it has nothing to do with me. If you hadn't come here to discuss me today, I wouldn't have taken out this recording at all." Luna gritted her teeth. "You bastard, you're just like him, making fun of me." I said coldly, "No one wants to make fun of you. You brought this upon yourself. Your narcissism and arrogance have blinded you, leading to this situation." Looking at Luna, who seemed ready to pounce, I smiled faintly. "If you have the time to get angry at me, you'd better go back and check. Maybe Leo has already run away with the money by now." Luna was shocked and rushed out of the office in a hurry. I calmly tidied up my desk and then picked up my car keys and went out. Of course, I was going to watch the good show. When I arrived, Luna was frantically smashing things at home and screaming in anger. "You bastard, I'm going to kill you." Her parents tried to stop her, but they couldn't. The neighbors around said that Luna had rushed back angrily today. When she couldn't find Leo, she started making calls. After failing to get through, she started smashing things, and no one could persuade her. I wondered what happened. Could it be that Leo has run away? It can't be. Doesn't he love Luna very much? Love can't be eaten as food. Judging by Luna's angry appearance, there's a high chance that's what happened. Listening to the neighbors' whispers, I thought that Leo was really smart and reacted quickly. If he had been a little slower, he would have faced the enraged Luna. "Oliver, please persuade Luna." "Oliver, Luna has gone crazy. Please persuade her. Her father and I really have no other way." Luna's parents came up to me and pleaded with me. I smiled politely and then refused mercilessly. "Sorry, you've come to the wrong person. There's nothing I can do." At this moment, Luna took out a knife from the kitchen and waved it with a ferocious expression. "You dare to deceive me? I'm going to kill you. Anyone who deceives me must die." The neighbors were frightened and stepped back in a hurry. I was also taken aback. I didn't expect Luna to be so stimulated. "Luna, calm down." Her mother stepped forward to dissuade her, but Luna slashed her arm with the knife. "Hurry, call the police." Someone among the neighbors shouted in a panic. The police came and took Luna away, and the ambulance took her mother away. Sigh. Such a good family. How did it end up like this? Someone among the neighbors sighed. I sneered. They deserved it. After that, I heard that Luna didn't stop causing trouble in the police station. She shouted that she wanted to kill Leo. The police determined that there was something wrong with her mentally and sent her to a mental hospital. Later, Luna tried to escape from the mental hospital. Not only did she fail, but she also lost the baby in her belly. Luna went completely crazy. During the day, when she met people in the mental hospital, she would ask where Leo was and say that she wanted to kill Leo at night. She would hold the quilt and rock gently, mumbling, "My dear, don't cry. Mom is here." Her parents couldn't bear the blow and were both hospitalized. Since they had no relatives to take care of them, they were bullied by the hospital nurses. The nurses never washed their clothes, beat and scolded them at will, and forced them to eat leftovers. I didn't feel the slightest bit of sympathy. As you sow, so shall you reap. They have no one to blame for what happened to their family. I acquired their family company, injected funds to bring the company back to life, and the business grew bigger and bigger. 2 years later, I became the most famous entrepreneur in the city. Everyone envied and admired me, and citizens called me the most handsome and wealthy man in the city. My future life is full of sunshine.